Thank
Yeah.
you for those kind words. Well, I'm happy to be here, and I'm very excited to share with you birth as an altered state of consciousness. So shall I just roll right on into it? Yes? Okay. Well, if you know me, you know that before I do any kind of a presentation with people, there are people whose shoulders I have stood on. So I call them forth, okay, because these are my teachers. First of all, it's the grand midwives of the South in our country, okay, who have kept midwifery alive over all the years that we thought midwifery was dead. All right. So thank you for the grannies, and thank you for Dr. Michel Audin and his work with undisturbed birth, which is what the Matrona is based on. All right, undisturbed birth is well, lots of different kinds of birth, but undisturbed birth is the umbrella for everything at the Matrona. And third, I want to say a shout out to all the women and families, mothers and fathers, babies who have taught me what I know over the years. All right, so there we go. So, one of the things that women have taught me is that birth does not happen in ordinary reality. And I didn't really need to be taught that because my birth was very much like, okay, where am I? All right, I am not in ordinary reality. I'm in a different place. I'm in an altered state or a non-ordinary state of birth. And I just felt that. And what the clue for me here is that when I was in labor, I didn't want a lot. I didn't need a lot, and I didn't want a lot. I wanted pregnancy, a companion, postpartum, the same companion really to help me integrate those 9 months. But during my birth, I felt like I didn't need my midwife. She was there, all right. And I felt like I was on, this was my moment. All right. This is my moment to have to land a baby. And the happiest day of my life to today, 75, 78 years I've been here, okay? The happiest day was when I found out I was pregnant for the first time. I was a child of the universe. I was like, I'm in, okay? And I knew that my life would completely transform. And I knew what it would do would be to take me deeper and deeper into the realities of life and birth and all of the birthing wisdom. So, what I found myself doing then, realizing that okay, I don't really need to show up in birth with the idea that I'm going to do something. I'm just going to be the witness. I do a lot in the pregnancy, and I do a lot in the postpartum, but in birth, I step back because this is not my performance, the midwife's performance. Do you see what I mean? It's mine. All right. It's like somebody saying, okay, as a caregiver, I have learned to be in the background, and not ever to disturb the mother. And my job is to make sure that no one else does either. No one else comes between the mother and the father, all right, and their birthing experience. So let me tell you a little bit about what I realized if I were going to conceptualize it in language. I would say that we have different levels of brainwave activity that are very keen and very relative in the whole childbirth continuum. So let me tell you about these brainwave states. We call them beta, alpha, theta, and delta. All right, they are states of reality. They are altered. All right. And when I say altered state, I mean just non-ordinary reality. I don't mean that we are using drugs and different things like that. Okay. I mean that we come to birth open and ready to transform. So a little quick romp through the brainwave states, all right? Because you have changes in brainwave all the time, and you have been in altered states all the time. Why? Well, think about it. For 8 hours a day, you sleep. Where are you when you're sleeping? Are you in ordinary reality? No. Are you dead? No. You're in a non-ordinary altered state. And you've been doing this since you were gestated, practically being in this state. All right. So the four main brainwave states that we're going to be talking about are beta, alpha, theta, delta. Very quickly, ordinary reality, where we are productive. The crossover to the bridge to alpha, where we are creative. The deepening of the soul level, where we go into theta. And then the serious revelatory deepening that we go to in delta, all right, when we have cosmic experiences. So, wow, all right. And I will tell you this, pregnant women have an easy time dropping into these altered states. In pregnancy, a woman's default changes. She's not in beta. She's not in ordinary reality. She has crossed the bridge to a deeper place. All right, let me explain. So, in our beta brain waves now, they are moving really fast. First of all, your heart cycles, right? 70 times a minute and it never stops. Or, okay. Well, your brain is also cycling much faster and it doesn't stop. But like your heart, it can rise up if there's something emotional, go to calm down if you're sleeping. Your brain does the same thing. If there's something going on, your heart, uh, I'm sorry. Your state will change, your state of consciousness will change, okay? So let's look and see how these states of consciousness do change. Beta is ordinary reality. Your brain is cycling up to 60 cycles per second, not per minute, per second. Wow. And in beta, you're just gathering information. This is normal life. This is our default for most many of us, okay? Is to be productive in beta, make our lists and go do our daily work, all right? But then we also have the option of going three other places. One of them is crossing the bridge now, going into alpha. What's going to happen? Your brain waves are going to slow down. And instead of being in the thinking mind of beta, the words and the thoughts and the thinking mind of beta, we drop down to the feeling heart, okay, of alpha. This is the creative place, all right? This is where your brainwaves drop down to 40 cycles per second. That sounds pretty fast, but really it's a major difference from the 60 seconds, 60 cycles. All right, now we're down into 40. And this is what we call the creative, the sensual part of this is where we use our senses rather than our minds, our thoughts. We don't necessarily speak in words in alpha. In beta, the currency of beta, ordinary reality, is words, thoughts, words. In alpha, and we've all been to alpha, if you've ever done a daydreaming, all right, experience, and you've come back out of it, like, where was I? All right, you were in alpha, all right, you were chilled out. And alpha had its own vocabulary. When in the 60s, all right, we had uh, we had something new happening on the planet. We had the people in the world realizing that there was alpha. All right, for all these years we were beta, productive, productive, productive. Now we realize there's value in the creative. There's value in art. All right, and beauty, and thinking something is amazing. All right, opening your heart to something. We drop down into alpha. This is, I think, the default state of pregnancy and birth. All right, the whole childbirth continuum, being in the realms of the creative. But remember now that the veils between these altered states are very thin, and pregnant women, have an easy time dropping down. Sometimes we don't, but pregnancy brings this aura of creativity and feeling and heart space, and we just drop down easily. All right, in our alpha realms. Okay. And then when we get there, we realize, oh, this is all about my senses. Yay. I can put my mind to rest for a while and I can just go with the flow. And then what happens? You actually enter even a deeper state. You enter the theta state, and the theta state is not your mind and it's not your heart. It's deeper than that, if you can imagine. It's your soul. It's the soul where it's that place where women get to access their souls. That's a really deep place. All right. And every single thing you've ever thought, every wink of your eye, everything that's done, everything that hasn't been done is stored in your theta brainwaves, 20. All right. We went from 60 to 40 to now 20. All right. Cycles per second. All right. So in theta, oh, theta is just the place to be. Theta is the place of healing. All right. If we talk seriously about healing, this is where we go. All right. This is where you heal. And you realize you heal yourself. Nobody ever heals you. You heal yourself. And that alone is enough to heal you. All right. But for pregnant women, it's also a time for looking at the rest of their lives, their earlier lives, and saying, this is what I'm taking into the transformation of birth, and this is what I'm not. And when you see what's apparent for you, all right, theta is that place where you understand things. Wow. You have insights. This is a place of intuition. This is the place of revelation, indeed. All right. And pregnant women are in a revelatory state once they overcome that bridge. Okay. Here they come from alpha, beta to alpha. Now, deep to the T cloud, I like to call it. Everything about you is stored here in theta. Okay. And then where we can go even deeper. All right, because theta is all about your personal healing. Let's talk about delta for a minute. That is the great cosmic consciousness. Okay. So as human beings, we have the ability, the ability to go into these different states of being and creating a life from these different places. And one of the best things we could ever understand, and we put a lot of stock in that in the Matrona, is that women are not in beta. They are deeper into these altered states where forgiveness is easy, where altered states and knowledge and wisdom is available for you. All right. So I I hope I'm not taking too much time. All right. But I want to tell you this one thing. Birth is an altered state. All right. We do not give birth in beta. There's a critic in beta. There's pain. That's where the pain is. The pain is in beta. Once you cross that bridge into alpha, theta, delta, what happens is this. The deeper you go, all right. And pregnant women are set up to do this. It's not like, oh, I better take a class in theta, and getting into theta. No, you don't. Just watch. All right. Just watch women come do this from chatty beta to sensual alpha, those contractions. Ooh, I'm getting deeper and deeper into theta. And the deeper I get, the farther away from the pain that I go. All right. There's no pain in theta. The pain's all up here in beta, in ordinary reality. You walk out of that pain over the bridge in alpha, and then you let theta come. All right. You let theta bring the knowings of your soul out to you. You can hear your baby. Why? Because you've silenced alpha and beta, and now you're listening and your baby speaks to you, and the two of you create that dance of birth together. And what else happens, which is amazing, is that as you drop down into these altered states in theta and delta, the pain recedes. It's not an issue anymore. Maybe it doesn't go away, but it's a non-issue. Your body was never meant to confuse or confound you, all right? So it wasn't meant for you to have an agonizing labor with no way out, all right? Go deep and the pain recedes. All right, do I have any more time to talk? Because I feel like I wanted to get all of that in.
Wow, we've got about a minute and a half. Please share more and please share where we can find you.
Okay, so I have a program called the Matrona, all right, and I've had it for 20 years. And it's all about undisturbed birth and what women have taught me and what women want. It's called the Matrona, and it's named after the Hispanic concept of the obstetra busy beta. All right, the Matrona, your birth companion who sits and knits in the corner. Because If the midwife is knitting in the corner, I guess everything is okay. All right. Go into theta, go into delta. Okay, thematrona.com. Come join us. We have doula classes. We have a solid midwifery class. We have a monitrice class. If you don't know what that is, just check us out. And thank you very much for opening this time, you beautiful women here. All right. And I'm with you every step of the way. Thanks again for having me.
Oh, thank you so much, Whapio. Wow. We're just over here like smiling and giggling the whole time. And we're so grateful you're actually going to be offering a workshop at the Birth Festival, The Sacred Witness and Reclaiming Our Sovereignty as Birth Keepers. You're going to be live streaming into the festival. Would you like to just mention a little bit about what that entails?
Well, I mean, what do you do at a birth then if a mother gets to do it all herself and is not disturbed? Do you see what I'm saying? What you do is you are the witness. You are the birth witness. That's what she wants more than anything. She doesn't necessarily need you to do her birth for her, but she does want you to witness it. You know, the free birthing women that I have talked to have said, I wish I had had the presence of a wise woman just watching me, just, do you know what I mean? Just witnessing me. And this is what we do. And this is for many of the women that I know and who come through the Matrona. They are birth witnesses after all.
Oh, we're so excited for this. And just you've always, the way that you speak and the way that your words land, it always has touched such a deep place within my soul around trust, empowerment, and sovereignty. So just so grateful for you, Whapio. We'd love to hear everyone's reflections in the chat. What's one or two main takeaways that you got from Whapio's share? You can stay in connection with her. I just posted above her Instagram, Whapio and the Matrona. I'll post it here again. You can connect with her here. Thank you so much, love.
Ah, thank you for having me.